Yeah, they consider haters, but is sports going on?
Oh, yeah, I've been here.
Yeah, rules.
Did we come here?
Maybe.
Please say you got the chicken person.
Hey everyone, I'm Dave Otero and welcome back to the studio. This is an interview portion that Travis and I did a couple of weeks after the album was completed when they came through town on the Summer Slaughter tour. So we cover a good amount about the recording, a little bit about our history working together for these past 3 Cattle albums, and maybe just kind of some other bullshit and how we've both grown as me as a producer and him as a vocalist and an artist. And it's a pretty cool insight to some of the band's history, specifically for the last few albums. So if you're a fan of the band, then I think you would enjoy it. And without further ado, I present my interview with Travis Ryan from Cattle Decapitation.
You like IPAs?
Fucking amazing.
Try this one. Have you ever had Pliny the Elder? It's a really famous
I
San Diego
know who it is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm sure I've had it, but there's this one bar.
It's like the original famous.
West Coast IPA.
Mm-hmm. This place always has
Is that what this is?
Mm-hmm. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Nice and dry. So I like about it most. It's like very dry. There's no sweetness. It's not like sticky.
Yeah. This is really good. This is
Dry.
like the quintessential sour to me.
Little tip.
Just the tip. That's what we've been doing to everybody this whole time with this.
Cold
Oh,
teasers.
People are like over it. Like,
I think it's kind of smart,
Stop.
honestly. We've been like doing. There's been a lot more of like little bits. I think because you guys have been posting more in the studio. I've been doing these things.
yeah.
I think maybe we'd like stumble on a thing that's going to work really well. Just like an incredibly long hype period, you know? I think it's just going to...
That used to be how it worked. And what I've noticed working for people lately is dropping shit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, that seems to be the trend lately.
That's really annoying.
Eminem did it, and people went fucking crazy, but then there was also the diss tracks and all that kind of shit that helped drive it, you know?
Yeah.
It's all about timing, dude. And with this record, so much shit just perfectly... The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Like I said, I don't know what it... I don't know if it was the amount of alcohol intake the night before, or the climate not being the fucking dead of winter.
For your vocals.
But my vocals felt the best that they've ever had under any circumstances with any fucking recording. I don't know why. Like, I'm gonna want to try to recreate this.
You're superstitious a little bit about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, superstitious a little?
Superstitious, yeah.
Yeah, fucking, well, I mean, what the fuck happened?
I don't know.
Was Mercury in retrograde and the planets aligned? I don't know what it was, but it was the best I've ever felt. And, you know, we've already worked together twice, so that I've always explained to people that when we get in there, we're in the thick of it. It's like you and I have this telepathic thing. We end up just communicating through grunts and
Yeah.
you know, like fucking auditory head nods, if that makes any sense, however that works. But
Well, you just get the feel. Like, I kind of know, like, after a day or so, I can kind of tell where your headspace is, and I can hear when your throat is being stressed.
yeah.
I know when you need to take a break by... your mannerisms, and you're not shy about telling me if you fuck at this, so it's pretty easy to tell when, like, okay, we need to stop, or take 5 minutes, or listen, or whatever.
Yeah.
It always takes, like, a day or something to find the flow again.
I mean, we spent more time on this
We
one.
did, yeah.
Right? A few days more.
Yeah.
We usually do, like, it only takes me usually, 4 days, something?
This last one, we had, like, a day at the end that just wasn't super productive. We probably, we had just been tracking vocals for like 7 days straight with maybe like 1 day off.
Yeah.
And by that point, like, we had a day where I was like, but neither one of us were feeling it. And we didn't get a lot done.
But we also had other things, you know, going on. Wasn't there like guitar layers and stuff?
We did some things
creeping in there, and they kind of stretched it out to 7 days.
I don't remember if that's what I don't even remember how many days exactly, but it was more than we had in the past.
Yeah.
But there was just like more vocals. It's just more music. When I realized that we recorded like 65 minutes of music or something like that total.
So is that more than we've ever done?
I'm pretty sure this is going to be your longest album that I've done, right?
Yeah.
And we have 2 extra songs. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of music.
And think.
That's why it took so fucking long.
I wanted 14.
I think you guys are just writing, or like those dudes wrote longer songs this time.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the plan. They were like, oh, Travis told us to.
Death Atlas ended up being a longer track, way more than usual. It's that long dirge
Outro and the
section, at the end, which is one of my favorite parts of anything we've ever done.
It was really
probably.
good. And it all sounds perfect now. I was really worried. In the studio, I think I'm always concerned about keeping, so is Dave, obviously, about keeping energy levels up.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be any lulls.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me like at the time I was worried that the clean part before the big epic outro was too long, and that there was too much music before vocals came in. I was like, man, I thought we were like right on the edge. And then I took a week off and I listened to it. And I'm like, no, it sounds fine. It doesn't.
You thought even what we
when we were
ended up
tracking,
with?
I was worried about those parts being too long or too much of a
Because at
lull.
first we had that clean going fucking twice as long one.
Yeah,
we
but it's
did
still
the whole section.
It was still the space. We still had the same amount of space. We just chopped that down, which is good. I
And
mean,
in-
everything ended up.
In hindsight,
exactly like it
your suggestion for doing that, for cutting it in half, really fucking helped
Well,
that part, man. Because
it had to be, yeah.
Because it's the 2 lines of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fucking 2 screams lines, and
Yeah.
then the fucking
Well, and then they stair step evenly, because then like all the progressions are the same spacing. There's like one full progression with no vocals, another progression with your first layer, second layer, and then the outro, which it takes it up and down at the same time. It kind of just like
yeah.
diffuses out to a really super long fade. It's like a 1.5-minute long fade or something like that. It's a really long
Yeah.
fade. It's awesome. The cover is so sick too.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of people hear that. That one is really fun to listen to in my car.
Oh, the cover song.
Yeah. The cover of the album is also sick, but the cover song.
It's funny. I've sent it to Metal Blade, and I was just like,
Yeah.
sent them the whole thing, and I mentioned the cover to Faley, and he's just like, it's pretty outside the box there,
Yeah.
which that's not necessarily the point. That's just that's okay that we do that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's helping set us apart, I feel,
Yeah.
And it came out much less pretentious than I thought it would.
It came out awesome. It's like
It came out really cool.
really good. I really like the fact that we changed the key to just
Yeah.
makes it a little bit deeper and darker.
Yeah.
And when it kicks in, when like it's like in my car, it's so satisfactory. Like that, I've always loved stuff like that. Big pops, big,
Yeah.
heavy emotion. From a production standpoint, even alone, it's just so like. I just love the way the mix sounds.
That's some fucking Eurofest stuff there. Hope they don't make us want to have to play it.
I don't mean it's not.
I wonder if
it's not possible.
couldn't
Unless
do
you-
it. We'd have
unless
to have
you do the full Dave McGraw-Stem method.
backing track layers and yeah.
All right, what do we talk about? We can talk about. I just have a bunch of shit down here. You've seen this a bit ago.
Yeah, we never got around to like ironing shit out. But I don't remember being turned off by any of it.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just gonna say we kind of talk about this stuff, and I can somehow hopefully edit it into a video later. That's like really the only way I know how to do this.
I like this. Like I said, the fireside chat.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think this is better. And none of the others have been like this. It's always just been Ollie was in one of them for 2 seconds, and then that was it. Other than playthroughs,
Yeah.
because I just had to do them like when we fucking weren't busy. But I listed out our like order of processes, so like how we did it, Google Doc thing, demoed stuff, tracked them, overview, and then I kind of made notes on each part. So I'm just not exactly sure how to get into it. I think we just start talking about it, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing we did this time was put lyrics in a Google Doc that we could share. I've had lyrics in me before, but I think you just emailed them to me, and then we never had anything that was syncing.
Yeah.
Or I printed them out. I think I've always used printed lyrics.
I've had to go into there into like your computer and go manually change them.
Change shit.
This
yeah.
fixed all of that.
The
shit.
Google Doc thing was the best way, or whatever kind of syncing.
Yeah, I don't know what other people do, but
Yeah.
that's
the easiest one. There are a few other similar deals, but
perfect.
the fact that we're both looking at the exact same text, you can make changes, I can make changes. We came up with like a color coding scheme that helped a lot for styles or production things like, okay, these we need to revisit or whatever, or make sure not to forget these.
Yeah.
And it helped a lot just because of the way we did it, where we split up all your styles. That honestly, like, it was probably beneficial for the album, beneficial for your voice, but it makes it so much more difficult production-wise, just because the amount of stuff you have to keep straight and keep track of becomes like monumentally larger when you're doing one voice at a time. Going through, what do we do, melodics first? All of the melodics.
Always do the melodics first because that's the clean-ish vocals because I'm just not one of those classically trained people or something. I don't know what would make someone, I don't know what it is that makes someone be able to fucking do a clean vocal and fucking go into the bear and snake without the clean degrading.
I mean, I don't know if that's even possible, you know. I mean, there could be different styles.
I've seen so many guys that, like, dude, Riley from Allegiant, the fuck? You know?
Yeah, but even we did cleans first.
Really? Yeah. Well,
or we do some.
Doesn't that fucking make sense?
We do some cleans first. It makes sense from a vocalist standpoint, but it actually doesn't make sense from a producer standpoint.
Oh, well.
But, I mean, you can see why, because, like, for one, those aren't... They may be the main focus of certain sections, but usually you'd kind of want those to, like, wrap up the song. You want to have as much of everything else there, and then make those work around it, or, you know, it could be beneficial to do leads first, and then do clean vocals, and then go back and tweak parts, like, where, you know, this time we did all the cleans, and then Josh kind of had to work around those with the layers. There are a lot of really cool melodies that changed the part a little bit that he laid down that could have spurred some ideas, you know. I think maybe that could be an idea for next time.
But talking about headspace, when I was going back later, we were, you know, having to redo certain things that were the cleans after I'm already in the middle of doing the lows and the bear and the snake or whatever.
That's hard.
It's hard. I mean, it's a lot of it is just your own mind, and you know, it was fucking with me. Like,
well, once you like check something off in your brain to like go back and like uncheck that, like shit, I have to do more of that stuff. It's kind of difficult, you know, especially when you have such a monumental task in front of you and you think you've finished a section. You don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Even if it really wouldn't be that big of a deal, no one wants to do that. You're like, oh, I finished that. That was like, I wanted to not deal with that
also,
anymore.
man, we were, I mean, 6 months ago, I was sitting there just like, I just want to hear the finished product, you know? I just want this, I want to fucking hear what this thing's going to be, because the watching the music be made, which was way different this time. Dave had to fly down, you know, from Seattle every time, and we had, 3 or 4 days to write fucking
a song or something.
Write a song or riffs or whatever, and they pumped stuff out, you know, and they kept in mind the vocals making sections that were a little more tailored to the melodic vocals or whatever, you know, the stuff, which is only something that I really put 2 feet in the water in fucking on Monolith. You know, we started way back during Karma, and then a little dabbling on fucking Harvest Floor, but you know, when we got to you, and this way we tracked together.
I don't know you had told me that you had ideas to make this voiceover more prominent before Mono. Like when we didn't really even know each other, you told me about this thing you wanted to do. I had no idea, and I was honestly really nervous because there's nothing worse.
Dude, when I first showed fucking McGraw, he was like, it was living, breathing piece of defecating meat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, dude. Like, never really done anything this in your face. I'm gonna show it to you. 'Cause I don't know how to record. I do GarageBand and I get a shitty, Zoom recording of their stuff. And,
Yeah.
And sometimes I even just use the onboard mic. It's garbage.
Yeah, they sound bad.
Like the scratch tracks.
Yeah,
It's
they
just,
sound bad.
I literally do that.
Yeah.
But I know what I can do in the fucking studio, and that's
Yeah.
all that matters. And Dave listened to it, and he's just like, I told him, I prefaced it, keep an open mind. He's just like, I'm gonna have to trust you on that because that sounds like shit. And using those words, which I appreciate. No,
Not beating around the bush.
yeah, fucking say it how it is.
Yeah.
Cut out a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
People's feelings aren't as important as the finished product. Sorry.
I was
As shitty
nervous
as that
too.
sounds.
Yeah, and a lot of singers think they sound better than they do. And there's nothing worse than bad. I'm nervous it's gonna fall.
Oh no.
Mommy knew over here.
I want it to be in front of yours, the way it should be.
I was nervous that you were gonna come in here and be dead set on doing something that's and then it's difficult.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. And there's nothing worse than clean vocals. Some people think they could sing great, but
Dude,
they just don't. They
I
don't
mean,
have those pitches in their brain.
That's why
They
the
can't do
only
it.
thing I'm ever gonna attempt would be those lower, I don't know.
Goth vocals.
I'm trying not to fucking. You kept calling them goths.
You said you were alright
Goth
with
vocals. Well, but the entire world's seemingly in 2019's impression of fucking goth is incorrect. So you're right.
it. Those are 100% goth vocals.
There's slightly Sisters
Yeah.
of Mercy, Andrew Eldritch, for sure. But
I mean, you did wear eyeliner for all those parts, so I don't
I
understand.
did pop on the eyeliner.
Should have done that.
But like
Did a video of you singing those parts and you come out and you've got big black circles and your hair's all teased.
Well, being the YouTube celebrity that you are now, you're gonna have to get into some After Effects, learning how to do that.
Yeah,
You can
put some makeup on
come
you.
around me, maybe a big fucking green cloud blown out from my ass.
I don't have to.
But what I was
I don't have
saying,
to After Effect that in. It's visible.
what I was saying was that style. I mean, you're not gonna hear me being like, whoa, no, whoa, it's
I
just
mean,
not gonna-
you could. That would not.
that would be horrible.
That would be hard.
This is what we're doing. Is not necessarily like, all right, people just generalize us as death metal. Okay, let's say that's the case. Fine.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't know what you call it. I just go extreme metal because it's just simple.
Yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't sound forced. That's the one thing that I have to make sure it happens. It doesn't. I can't let it sound forced. It can't. And you've helped me trim down some of the stuff that kind of might be. The whole Celine Dion bullshit.
Yeah.
Was me trying to, do something a little more extravagant than what's needed for the part, or just whatever. Maybe it just fucking sucked. And
It didn't suck. It was actually catchy. I still find myself kind of like humming that in my head along to the part occasionally because it's not a bad line. It's just not appropriate in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really always my case. You never come with anything that sucks. I was just like, for the feel of this part, maybe we simplify this or we try a darker tone or something.
But we did disagree on. What was it on this one? What's the one that you're just like, you're just wrong? And I said, absolutely, you're just more wrong than me.
I don't remember.
It's on.
I still am not stoked on how we brought back the high note. I don't know what song. I have terrible song notes, but there's a part that goes twice in the song. Between us. Yeah.
Or whatever. Is that the lyric? Yeah. Is that the one?
I think so. You only do it the second time?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it the second time. First one's better.
Incorrect. Vote up here. Yeah, let's do a poll.
Let's do a poll.
God. All these fucking Nam dorks are. Yes, Mr. Otero.
I think you'd have more dorky followers than I would. I don't know. It could be a.
You're probably about to ruin our band. Both of us probably are. I'm about to ruin your credibility, and we're going to be talking shit about fans now. I don't know. I think it's a great album, and I'm stoked.
So this is the first time that we use a different mic for any of the stuff.
Let's talk about that.
We've always used SM7 for everything. In the
Sure,
past.
SM7B.
So SM7. But this time, busted out the old Slate ML1. I can't remember what the model number is. It's a Slate mic, modeling mic.
So that's usually used for guitars?
No, it's usually for vocals, for clean stuff. Well, I mean, it's like a large diaphragm condenser that models a bunch of famous large diaphragm condensers throughout history.
I was dying to use that for the lows.
I don't think we tried that.
No.
It would have.
You said it wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's not.
It gets too much of that, like, in my opinion, it gets a little too much of that, like, throaty stuff. That's not actually the projecting part. It doesn't sound quite. It sounds different from, like, you hearing something. Captures different parts of it, I guess. Like, it can accentuate different parts, which makes it cool.
That you're not necessarily trying to go with.
Yeah, I guess. And then I would hear too much of, like.
Well, I just love the response or whatever. It was very hot, and God, I love that thing.
Yeah.
It made the low clean
The
vocals.
goth vocals?
Shut up. God damn it, dude.
What are you gonna call him?
My buddy Nev has been calling us goth nerds because of our photo. But I mean, people are saying I look like fucking Weird Al. Like,
What?
this world is wrong. You're all just wrong.
Goth nerds.
Goth
I mean,
nerds.
you guys, you kind of are goth nerds, though.
Who?
You have a little bit of a goth nerd in you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been listening to this shit since the 80s. But one of the
That's like the most goth nerd thing I've ever heard you say.
The very first song that got stuck into my head that I couldn't figure out who it was Sisters of Mercy, This Corrosion. Whenever it came out, I saw them literally. It was like on, not Top of the Pops, but one of those kind of shows. You know, Casey Kasem, like Top 40 type shit. And I just remember, at that time Madonna or whatever was huge, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? They looked crazy and all dreary, but that fucking chorus stuck in my head for maybe 10 years before I found out who did it. And I would just walk around singing that chorus in my fucking head. Hey, no. Over and fucking over. And then I finally found out who it was, and, it was weird.
I never got into that stuff too much personally.
I always had kind of a little goth edge. My wife does too.
I like it took me a while
stupid term, but
I kind of got into like the metal side of that, like the Paradise Lost and some of the shit that like Dark Tranquility did in their goth phase.
There's certain things. I love hip hop. I don't know about mixing it with metal or death core or whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's some things I think that are just, but I hate pineapple on pizza. There's people that say nope, that's it, and they're crazy.
Yeah, I love it. Further describes our relationship.
Fire and ice. That's how you write it. That's how you do a record.
That's how we came up with the Anthropocene extinction, and we fire and ice made an ocean. Got it. It's dope.
I do like the elemental aspect though.
Mm-hmm.
Mono being earth, Anthro being water, Death Atlas being fire. Next time will be about farts and we'll about wind. Dave McGraw will do guest or lead.
Lead farting.
Actually, his don't really make sound. His deadly ones are the ones that are silent.
You're the noisiest one. Surprise.
Yep, but they make no smell. Only 1 in 10, I'd say. And it's the tightest ever.
You did fart on my mic more than
Actually, I didn't fart on your mic. I held it out here. I was being cool. But there is a part, maybe you can go back and grab it and put the fart back in there. Just for
I'm
this
very
section.
worried about about this part making it on
That's
now.
true. Dave, be like, so that stayed?
I don't know about the part, guys.
I don't know about this part.
Oh. Well, what else about the process? The fact that we do split up everything presents a lot of problems as far as that's probably one of the reasons why we took more time. I think we split up things more this time. I think maybe last time we did cleans and then we did highs and lows together.
Yeah, we've always done that, and I've always done that. I mean, this time I felt so good.
Yeah.
The lows just felt unlike any time they ever have. It felt right.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle, or more, maybe. So
a part of the struggle of splitting it up so much is that.
oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't want to fucking.
Go
The
back.
lows are sound good.
Yeah.
Stay on this. What if I fucking go
Yeah.
and do highs,
And then it
and now all of a sudden I'm hitting those dead spots?
And that did happen when we were at the end of the process and we're okay, now we're just fixing parts or changing parts or coming, and we kind of got to bounce everywhere. We're doing melodics here, we're doing lows here, it's just whatever needs to be done. It did, when you would do highs and it would fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Lows wouldn't sound as good. So, I mean, I totally get it, but we did more demoing this time than we have on any of the other albums. I don't think we've done pre-pro demos at all before.
We just bring you in the, at home.
You
we
have
put
maybe had demoed out stuff a little bit further.
Oh yeah,
other albums.
before I at least had shit that had. I think I had my crappy vocals on there. They were really shitty,
Yeah.
and
But
like
I
I was
could hear
saying,
them.
done with a mic, and my interface is a piece of shit. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just use the onboard. This one I got really lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote this fucking record in a lazy boy like this, with the fucking laptop right here. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's how I came up with the melodies, by just going, not belting them out. I just know that
What they'll sound like.
I know I could do it as long as I could do it.
It sounded, once we got demos, I felt a lot better. So we did that this time. We had our color coded Google Doc, and we went through. It took a whole day.
Yeah, we
And
did
we just
the
sat
scratch.
there. We sat there and did scratches for all the parts,
Yeah.
and with me right next to each other, just with an SM7, kind of like quiet versions.
Yeah.
And then at least we had like an overview,
Yeah.
because for me to really do my job, I have to hear it all together.
Yeah.
'Cause everything intertwines.
And that's the bummer about the way we do it for your end. I see your gripes.
This way it worked out. I mean, it was
it's really all about preservation. I mean, what good is having all all your stuff in place or how you want it if the fucking the voice sounds like shit,
Yeah.
or if the
Sure.
takes are crap.
It's both. I think that it took longer and it was more stressful in certain elements, but
Yeah.
we did get a better performance, and then I felt like I could actually give input based on, having knowledge of what the whole song was,
Yeah.
rather than like, well, I don't like this, and then I hear the parts before and after, and I was like, oh, well, now it makes more sense, So I really need to hear everything. I realize that the more I do my job, I need to hear like the entire song for me to give opinions on parts, because everything interplays with everything else,
But you also do things a lot different than a lot of people do.
How so?
Well, you mix and master as you go along.
Oh, no.
From what you told me.
No.
So you're a big liar.
I mean, I have a tracking mix that I have for us to listen to, but that's just like a quick version. When I get to the mix, I essentially scrap all that.
Yeah.
I keep very tiny amounts of it. Most of it I pull off from scratch. I used to, a long time ago. Maybe I told you that.
But where's the mastering come in?
I mix. Okay, so maybe I misunderstood you. I mix and master kind of at the same time, but not as we go along. Not as we track.
Oh, of course.
Okay, I thought that's what you were saying.
No. But I do remember when you told us that before we fucking made a deal with you or whatever, it was, I remember telling Mike Faley, was going, so there's this guy, Dave Otero, he made our friend's band Dead Speak sound like, $1 million. And this guy's okay, and I'm like, I could show you that stuff. And And then he said, who do you want mastering this thing or something? I go, oh, well, Dave mixes and masters as he goes along. And he just goes, oh, Travis, like, do you really know this guy? Because it was so, he's just like, that's nowhere near industry standard, and now you got me worried about this dude, and now look.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't still.
You have to fend off fucking jobs from Metal Blade.
Do you remember, I talked to you guys before Mono. We talked about doing an album. I'm sure, you have to remember this.
Well, Josh is the one that fucking found you or whatever, or he kept saying Dave Otero, Dave Otero, and I forgot who we were talking. I don't even remember who was on the list of like potentials or whatever.
Yeah. I don't.
Josh
it wasn't Harvest Floor. What's the album before Harvest Floor?
Bloody Karma.
I think on Karma.
You guys started talking about around that then. Around 06.
I talked to you or Josh. I don't remember who it was. I talked to you guys. And then I made, Metal Blade needed to hear some stuff, and I made a CD of bands that I'd done. They were all crappy local bands. I'd really done Cephalic and then a bunch of crappy local bands. They were bad. It was like, there was new metal stuff on there, but that's all I had to send.
Yeah.
And I sent Metal Blade a CD, and they said no. I could have worked with you guys 2 albums before. Metal Blade said no.
To work with me?
Cattle.
Sorry, to work with Cattle?
Yeah. When I first started talking, I can't remember if it was you or Josh.
Had to be Josh.
He
was the only one.
Okay, a long time ago, before Mono, like years before Mono, we had talked about doing an album, and then
that's what it was. Because Josh kept saying, "This guy Otero, I mean, I think he's the guy." And then we, went with Billy again, and then, which was great. But then, like, he just kept. I don't know what it was. Just we liked Karma, and we wanted to try to, when bringing Dave in, we wanted to try to modernize that sound just a tad more, which isn't exactly Billy's wheelhouse. He's more of really organic
the
sounding.
vibe, organic.
Yeah, a lot of low end.
Yeah.
And we're kind of, we're a different band than that, but yeah, we were talking. He kept being like, "Oh, Otero,"
I don't know if I ever talked to anyone about Metal Blade, but I mailed them a CD. This is before you could like send someone MP3s. I mailed them a CD, and then I must have talked to Joss, and they were like, yeah. Or I talked to Metal Blade. I can't remember. Someone was like, well, we think this is a really important album for them, and we want them to go to like a big name guy.
Weird.
And so it didn't happen. But then it did on Mono, and then it's worked out. It's weird to think about though. Like, what would have? I mean, I don't know. It might not have been good. I wasn't as good.
We basically told them we
got to do something.
We really have a feeling about this,
Cool.
And it worked out. It's kind of always how it is, They when you're a label that is so the biggest metal labels or what most prestigious or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the most important at least, maybe not prestigious but important. Metal labels, you gotta watch out for,
They're honestly more hands-on than probably most. At least most that I've dealt with.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
They ensure quality. Like masters have to be, mixes have to be approved before masters are sent. I mean, some of the smaller labels or other labels, not even small labels, some of the other labels do that for some of their, top tier bands. But a lot of them, they're just like, whatever comes in, comes in. They kind of give the band all the power, which is fine for some bands and probably not for others.
Yeah.
But we've never really had any issues. Luckily, they've been pretty happy with all the output that we've had together. And really anything I've done.
I'm pretty sure it was the first record that they just took and said thank you. Without any back and forth. Zero back and forth.
Anthro, they didn't say anything either. At least with the mix. At least on my.
Really?
Yeah. On Mono, there was...
well, we sure as hell did, because that was the record, Anthropocene. We did the fucking... We had to go home... Well, not go home early, but we had been there long enough, and we weren't... you were just getting into mixing when we had to leave.
Yeah.
Never doing that fucking again.
It would have been fine. Should have just let me do what I wanted. That was a mess, too. That was the first time I had to implement the Google Docs. So everyone had 100,000 comments, so everyone got a color. Do you remember this? It was the first Google Doc experiment with Cattle. It was because I couldn't keep track of everyone's fucking mix comments.
Yeah.
So I had to start one, send it to everyone, assign everyone a color, tell them to write notes. It was a mess.
Yeah. But holy shit, did that work out for the vocals this time? The Google Doc thing. It was
Oh yeah,
fucking
it was awesome. Yeah.
amazing.
I used to just prefer having printed lyrics, but now I've had such a giant screen that it doesn't matter. I can just sacrifice some screen real estate, have them there, see the color coding. But it did create some more work. I mean, splitting everything up like that does mean that we have to go back and listen a lot more, because you're never completing anything as you go. Like nothing is.
Well, I
being
mean,
completed.
I color code first, and then it's kind of like, what do you think of this?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
And then me and you go through and you're like, this part, I think we should split the melodics and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And
We did, when that was a pretty slick element too. When we did our pre-pro demos, our scratch tracks, I color coded those. I separated all of your voices on the different tracks and color coded them the same colors as you had in the Google Docs. So at least on my screen, you're not seeing that. But for me, that's what I need. The Google Docs is like, doesn't really translate to my timeline. Okay, I can see this block of vocals over here with like a timestamp, but that's not the timestamp in my project, and I can't automatically see where this is.
Yeah.
But if I have pre-pros and I can see, okay, here there's 4 lines, they're red, which means lows or whatever they were, I can look at my project and be like, oh, it's probably here, and then I can zero right in on it, you know?
Yeah.
So it helped. We had to like come up with some organizational tactics this time to keep straight. And then even as much as we tried to keep shit straight, there were things that would get missed. We'd forget to do doubles. We would think we would do stuff we didn't do. I would finish a part and forget to fly it over to the next part, or I couldn't fly it over right away because we still had highs to do.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously I'd want to, before I fly over a section, you know, if it's going to be a repeated part, then we're using the same take. I don't want to have it all there first anyway, so I wouldn't do it and I'd forget, or it was
Yeah.
just kind of a mess for elements of this. But
well, we also had 2 months, and we're just, you know.
yeah, and of course it was still like scrambling at the end to get shit done. It doesn't matter how much time you have. The last week is going to be a fucking.
What'd you do? 19 hours and then followed by a 20 or some shit?
It was insane. That one day was so crazy. I don't think I've ever worked in like a matter of, 72 hours. It was like 80% of that was spent in the studio working on mixes. It was insane. I crashed pretty hard after that.
Yeah. Well, it's the best one we've done. Every band says that.
Yeah, that's true.
But in this case, in this band's fucking case, that's just been the way it's gone. The second that stops is when we're in trouble.
Well, you keep on innovating new elements. Just key.
It's got to make sense though.
There's always stuff. There's
I'm
always.
gonna throw a
changes.
hurdy-gurdy in there just to have a hurdy-gurdy,
Yeah.
just to be weird.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense. There was shit I wanted to do on this that we weren't even able to do.
Like what?
Well, homeboy from Zather was gonna do a track, but he was like out of town.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, dude, I got lost in that record, man.
The guy, my twin brother from
Full of hell.
from Full House.
Yeah, Dylan blew us off.
Yeah.
Uh,
Call out.
Whatever. It's just the most realized work we've done. It's just everybody's gonna say that, but I that they have to say that.
Every band, I think, feels that at the
I-
same time.
I just this is it. This is the fucking, like Metal Blade Europe said, it's a magnum opus. Those guys fucking killed it. The rest of the band fucking killed it, and we put a lot of hard work into crazy time frames.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This band works really well under the gun. It bums us all the fuck out because you can always just rely on that, which
Yeah.
to me sucks.
That's terrifying.
It's a great way to fucking find yourself having no practice and going out there and doing shows,
Yeah.
which sometimes we do.
Yeah,
But-
that's really scary. I mean, probably a lot of people have realized that or felt that way, where they operate best under pressure. But that's
Yeah.
like,
And half of us suffer from anxiety, so
Yeah.
it's like it's not the greatest, cocktail or whatever.
yeah,
Whatever.
makes things happen, produces results apparently.
Yeah.
Well, did we cover everything? Anything else? It's been like a month. How long has it been since we tracked
Fuck.
this? Probably only about
2
a month
weeks.
actually. Yeah, it hasn't even been that long. About a month.
Seems like we were just here. Or like we never left. Yeah, I've showed a bunch of my friends. Everybody says the same thing. Dude, I had my friends from Unidad Trauma. I'm sitting there at their place in Tijuana and fucking showing them the record for the first time, and they're like high-fiving each other and shit. Like, separate from me. I'm sitting here just like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, and they hear a part and like, high five. I'm like, you gonna give me some? So it's just the reactions I've seen from people. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm done with these teasers too, just like everyone else.
I know, this shit's
I want to be able to share
annoying. The vinyl industry. Want to stop waiting for fucking bands to put out records 6 months after they drop it in? Don't buy Toy Story 2 fucking soundtrack on double gatefold picture disc. Fucking record store day and all their stupid fucking bullshit that I feel nobody wants, but somebody's buying this crap.
Yeah, it's making money. Record store day is knowing a friend of mine who like has one of the last independent record stores in Colorado. Albums on the Hill down in Boulder. Like record store day like keeps places like that afloat, man.
Oh, I know. It's a for brick and mortar. It's kind of a necessary evil at this point. And they're not even the only. It's not even just that.
Yeah.
What's happened is the fucking labels who haven't been able to sell a CD in 10 years are now like, holy shit, we can fucking vinyl's back. Now we can actually reach into our back catalog of stuff that hasn't been available on vinyl since the 80s or whatever, or maybe even CD, and fucking sell it. Nobody cares about CDs apparently. I still like them. Whatever.
I don't listen to them anymore. Everything's just on digital for me. But
I mean,
you guys
a big part of what I do in the band is the overseeing and making sure, or coming up with directing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
All the layout and the art and stuff. So while I don't want that to go away, at the same time, sayonara to all the plastic and shit that the people buy a CD and they hold on to it. They're not throwing it in the fucking ocean or some shit. Or maybe now they are. Fuck, I don't know. But I think the future could be just smaller quantities for fucking collectors, and then I guess streaming.
I'd be down with just vinyl and digital, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best.
Although I really do like CDs.
Yeah.
I fucking love them, but if there's no CD players anymore, the digital realm, it's always been screwy.
Yeah. Well, since you always give me shit about having a YouTube channel, might as well take this opportunity to remind everyone that this is a new channel. It'd be awesome if you subscribe and watch all my future videos.
Fuck that subscription button. Just rip it in half.
Yeah, so you're good at this. Just start your own channel.
Dude, $100 in a session, and I'll be your man.
All right, well, thanks for checking this out. Hopefully we covered enough to kind of give you guys an insight of the vocal recording process for this album. It's a little different from the other videos, obviously. There's not as much gear. Just a weird old guy's throat and a couple of microphones. But at this point, the album is probably available for pre-order. So you should absolutely do that as soon as after you subscribe, then go ahead and pre-order the album and check it out. Or at least like pull it up and stream it somewhere and check out the singles. It's pretty rad. We're all extremely proud of it. Put a lot of time, more time than we ever have on any of the other albums. More time than I ever have on any album, period.
And a lot more emotion.
And
which isn't...
I cared about it a little bit.
Which doesn't mean emo. But actual emotion.
This is the most emo. It's the most emo Cattle album.
Actual... care. And
heartfelt,
emotion. Primal.
Yeah, it was fun. The most fun Cattle album to record. The one I enjoy listening to the most at this point, it's new, so who knows? It could change. But I love it. I can't wait. I'm very happy. I think everyone feels the same way, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So.
And we thank you for your attention to details and
Oh,
everything you do.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right, thanks for checking that out. As I mentioned at the top, there is a separate video covering the vocal recording process in more detail. And I also have videos for drums, guitars, bass, and really all elements of tracking the entire album. So if you're interested in that, then click up here and kind of make your way through those. I think you guys would enjoy them. So again, thanks for watching this. Check out those other videos, and I'll catch you next time.